Stacy said, get ready to cry, and I did hold back tears. April, I love you. Scott, I love you. Those two people are some of my best friends, and their life is driven by belief in faith, family, and in service. I am so pleased to have them working with me side by side and supporting the future of Maryland manufacturing. Eris Melissaratos and Susie Gans, what beautiful people, just absolutely beautiful people. And I'm so fortunate that they're part of my family, part of the people that I hang out with. Just absolutely wonderful human beings. But let me tell you one video that we didn't have, and that was me telling all of you how much I have received by having you in my life. You know, my passion and energy to do good, it's always been fueled by friends who care about helping others, friends who are hopeful, friends who understand that fighting for manufacturing is a noble cause. You know, I once heard that life is not measured by the number of breaths you take, but by the moments that take away your breath. This moment is deeply gratifying, and I am moved, and I have cried, by the expressions of love and respect that I've received tonight. Now, for those of you that don't know me well, let me clarify that statement. I said it takes away my breath, not that I'm going to be speechless tonight. I've been very fortunate to always love the work that I do, but equally important, I've always done the work with loving people, dedicated people who work to achieve significance in the community, people who have values and vision and vitality, designed to serve others, and people who believe in the dignity and the worth of individuals, and people who know the future is full of hope. To all my friends, it is a blessing to have you by my side. Your spirits inspired me, your friendship has honored me, and your dedication led us to where we are tonight. RMI is not Mike Galiazzo. RMI is the community of advocates who stood with me and our board of directors for 32 years and who's created a chorus of voices in support of the opportunities of prosperity offered by Maryland manufacturing. And as I accept this award in recognition, let's take a moment to acknowledge others. Peter Gourlay. Peter Gourlay was my rock and everybody's friend. He always had a smile, a warm smile on his face, and his credo was simply, be nice, be nice. Peter ran our highly successful energy efficiency program when he was with the Maryland Energy Administration, serving hundreds of companies with our lead engineer, Bob Barazzato, who is here tonight. We lost Peter in January of 2021 to cancer, but his memory and spirit are with us. And Peter, I know you're with us tonight. Chris Plater. I've known Chris Plater longer than anyone in this room, other than my sister Maureen and my lifelong friend Jerry Rickey. Chris has been on the RMI team for decades. She has been a behind-the-scenes, indispensable member of RMI. She's played important roles in every major event that we've held and in our energy efficiency program that was statewide and has been going on since the O'Malley administration. Chris is admired by all who know her well. She is my champion and my good friend. Stacy Smith. Now, what can I say? Stacy is the champion's champion. You know, when we lost Peter Gourlay, Stacy stepped up to help me. We would not be here tonight without Stacy Smith. And yes, let's give her a hand. Stacy is a dynamo of talent who inspires me with her drive, her intelligence, and most of all, her relentless passion to serve those in need. Working with Stacy is a joy. She will always be one of my most unforgettable and remarkable friends. Thank you, Stacy. Thank you, Stacy. And by the way, this is audience participation. If you hear something really nice, go ahead and applaud, okay? RMI has always been a stakeholder organization with representatives of business, education, government, labor, and community. At this time, I'd like to ask the RMI Board of Directors to please stand to be recognized by this audience. So RMI Board of Directors, please stand up. And And I also want to introduce three of the former chairmen of the RMI Board of Directors. We heard Charlie Wheatley, and we heard all three of those, but I'd like for them to stand up. Charlie Wheatley, who was there to help me with my life decision to be here tonight. We had a date with destiny, Charlie. Thank you. Scott McDonald. Scott McDonald was board chairman before we got to where we are today, so he hung in there. He was there when it was really important to stick together. So thank you, Scott. And this next guy, I think everybody knows. If you read, watch TV, or get on the internet, my good friend Drew Greenblatt from Marlins Steel. Drew? And their leadership really kept things running. You know, I've always said that the most important action needed to grow Maryland manufacturing is to have public policymakers stand up for our cause. And many local and state government policymakers are with us tonight. You know, their presence shows that they share our desire to make it in Maryland with a bold new vision for the future. Unfortunately, my good friend, Senator Kathy Klassmeyer, called me yesterday and she has COVID. But I promised Kathy that I would remind the group that Kathy was with manufacturing and with Mike Galiazzo in Annapolis before manufacturing was cool. So Kathy, thank you so much, and I'm so sorry that you're not here. She introduced me to Annapolis. But I have some new friends that have been here tonight and are here right now. And that's the joy of doing the kind of work that I do. Earlier, we had Brooke Learman, who's a Maryland State delegate, who is now a controller-elect. And during the campaign, I'll tell you, Brooke met with a group of 20 manufacturers to discuss the top strategic issues for manufacturing. And it was a really positive event. And tonight, she told me that she would like me to have that group work as an advisory group on manufacturing with her office in the future. So she's not here tonight, she left, but I want to thank Brooke for that. I want to introduce someone who's a new friend, a kind and gentle person who has been enormously successful, which proves that if you operate by right, you will have might. And I'm talking about Adrian Jones, our Speaker of the Maryland House of Delegates. Adrian. Just as underscore, having the Speaker of the House of Delegates, Maryland House, Speaker of the House here, is a phenomenal gift to us. And Adrian, I want to thank you personally. It's interesting, I didn't even know you before this year, but I feel like I've known you forever. Thank you so much for your leadership. Of course, we heard from Johnny Olszewski, Senator, hold on, lost my thing. Senator Hettleman was here and may still be here, I'm not sure. Senators Charles Siddell, Senator Ben Brooks, Senator Chris West, and Delegate Lily Chee. Now I'm going to stop for a second because these two people have played a very, very critical role in manufacturing in Maryland. In 2021, RMI, we had written, along with my good lobbyist friend, Rich Reinhardt, legislation to create legislation to create a legislative work group for Maryland manufacturers. Lily introduced it as a delegate, and Chris introduced it as a Senate. That bill became law, and today I'm happy to say that we're going to be sending recommendations to the governor that should include a request for $50 million for manufacturers to be able to purchase 4.0 technologies. So I want to thank all of them. And Michelle Guyton, my friend Michelle Guyton is here. And Michelle, the first year we introduced the legislation, we didn't make it, but because of but the next year it went through. Julian Jones, the Baltimore County Councilman, is here. Eric Costello, Baltimore City Councilman, is here. And my friend N. Scott Phillips, who is going to be a newly minted delegate, as you heard earlier, is here. So will you please join me in thanking all of them for their attendance tonight. So much of the future of manufacturing, so much of what we're going to do in Annapolis will be done because we're building relationships to make the dynamics of manufacturing and the leadership, particularly of the Westmore administration, and the leadership of the Senate and the leadership of the House of Delegates understand the value of manufacturing to community. Now, to our 222 champions, you represent the exceptional stories of success, and we are here tonight to celebrate you. My sincere congratulations to all the champions. Your stories will remain on the RMI website, and Maryland Public Television, who's here tonight, will review champion stories for possible inclusions in future Made in Maryland programming. And I have a special request to our champions. Think of that significant other person in your life who gave you the start that got you where you are today. When you go home tonight, reach out to that person who was your significant other, who put you on life's pathways that led to you here tonight. Celebrate them, and as we are celebrating you, you know there's no greater reward in life than saying, thank you for caring for me when it mattered the most. You know, Maryland is uniquely aligned with the future to become a national showcase for next generation American manufacturing. We can show others the way to that grand vision. Our undeniable world-class R&D ecosystem, our culture of innovation, and our diversity and our diverse visionary leadership represent a prescription for making it in America, making it in Maryland. No other state, no other country has the assets to transform talent and technology into a powerhouse of economic and social change for the good of all. So where do we go from here? Watch the screen and play the video, please.